Hi everyone. Today the topic is about when we have intimate relating to lovers, if each one of them are taking full responsibility for their own energy, how does that change the interaction? So by saying that, I'm kind of implying that many times it isn't like that. And there's many reasons for that. I believe that one of the reasons is that we are in this mindset that I have to give pleasure to the other, and I have to show that they are good enough so that they know that I have pleasure. So it can be very much about this, like what do I have to give to the other, and how do I have to respond to the pleasure, to the touch, to what I'm given from the other. And that kind of creates a dynamic of expectations, and both of what you should do and like how you should receive. So that is one thing. And the other thing that I've noticed as a woman, I'm somebody who's not, when I'm in a committed relationship, especially, I feel like birth control is something that I don't really want to do anything unnatural for my body. So I don't want to be on birth control like the pill. I don't really want to use like plastic condoms. I don't I don't really want to use anything. I want like more than anything that like feeling nature through the act of connecting. And in that case and sense, it's very important that both that I know my own energy, so I know my moon cycle, and I know, for example, the days that I'm ovulating and I'm extra fertile. But also it's the other thing that makes the change it everything, is that I know that my partner is just responsible for his energy, and not only responsible but also that he knows how to master it. Because one thing is to be responsible for your energy and want to make things happen in a certain way, and another thing is to be able to do it. So when I know that my partner is mastering his sexual energy, and that I can completely surrender to the moment without having to think about not having birth control or about my ovulation or about anything else, then I can give myself to the moment much more. And I also feel as a woman, when we don't have that thing that, okay, this has to, the way that this ends is, or the way that this goes is that first I have 1, 2, 3, how many ever orgasms, the expectation is. And then at the end, we come together, or my partner comes. Like that is for me also a dangerous dynamic that creates this like expectations and how things have to be. So as a woman, we can let go of like, this is how the masculine energy is moving, this is how it has to go, and it has to end in a peak. That also helps. And of course, for those two things to happen, it's important that the man learns to circulate his energy and to have pleasure not only at the peak, because otherwise that is kind of also that dynamic where the man is like giving, and then finally when the woman is happy, or this, I like parenthesis here, now I'm speaking about heterosexual relationships, but in all relationships, that every time where there's interaction, there's a polarity where one is holding the more feminine pole and the other the more masculine pole. Otherwise nothing can really happen. So when a man learns to circulate the energy and master the energy, it really changes the game, because there is nothing that a woman feels like she has to do, and there is nothing that she feels that she has to be careful about. And those two things for me are complete game changers, because I can surrender to the moment and respond in every moment without having to do something. But naturally, what arises in me, what arouses me, is what I can lean into. And another game changer often in the connection is that when there isn't always an ejaculation, there is no like stop, there is no cut in the energy. When there's a circulation of energy that happens both in the man and the woman, that connection is always there. We never really cut it off. We never really go up to a peak and then drop it. And that can be also a huge game changer in the connection, in the intimacy, that we are not here together to go towards a goal. And when that goal is done, then we kind of separate, and then we wait until the urge to do the same thing again comes. but there is much more like a dance and a continuous connection that is more like this, you know, coming together and going apart, but not like a staccato that kind of goes up and down and up and down. And I've also seen how that completely changes, because as women, somehow we've often learned to live with it, but it doesn't feel good when it's kind of over and the man is sleeping. And that's when we are completely maybe open, and we would want the man to move our waters or to just be there with us. But in that physical, biological need for recuperation, a lot of traumas can actually be come up to the surface. And that in a way is also good, because we are in a place of openness. We are in a place where the kind of deepest part of us is the sexual part, and the deepest wound is a sexual wound. But it's so important that we don't re-traumatize ourselves by feeling abandoned again. And I mean, I'm kind of maybe exaggerating a bit, but I think if as women we admit that, you know, and then we also can speak to what happens when we don't have that cutoff, then I think that that's part of being honest with how we feel. And I think for men too, that have always ejaculated before and like have that kind of feeling of like, okay, now I need my own space, you know, and that when they don't feel that, like that's something new for many men too, that's going to deepen the connection and the intimacy with their partner. And I also would say that it's a deepening of your embodiment, because when you have this kind of go until a peak, which I sometimes call the Duracell rabbit, and then you kind of like drop unconscious, and then your body kind of has to come back, and then you go and you drop unconscious. Like I wouldn't speak about that as true and conscious embodiment. But instead, when you learn to circulate your energy, when you learn to decide whether you go to 80% of your peak kind of, you know, or of your pleasure, and then you can take it down, you can take it up, when you can master your energy and do and go wherever you want to do without your body kind of driving you or your mind driving you to a certain place. Like that is true mastery, true embodiment. That is being in your body. And that's going to change so much also the connection. Like when you are with somebody that feels conscious, feels present, it's there, that is on top of your own energy. It's like the safety and the beauty that creates in the connection is extremely powerful. Yeah. So I believe that it is worth it for both women and men, for both polarities in a couple, to learn about how your life force moves and how your sexual energy works, and to not give up after the first try. No, I can't feel anything. No, I don't know what this is. You know, it's so easy to stay in the old dynamics. But if you have the courage, if you have the commitment to actually explore beyond it, and to see how that is benefiting you, how that is benefiting your partner, how that is benefiting a deeper connection, and how that's also changing how empowered and how embodied you're going to feel in the world. Like, you know, it's when we discover that, then we can really choose if what we're doing before was better, or what we are growing into is worth it. Thank you.